The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
All right, just let me give it to that. All right. Man, how you guys doing? AW Aero or Sunday afternoon? No, Sunday evening. Um, but I hope you're all doing good. Good. Boss, blinded. Boss. Um, I'm gonna be let you know. There might be. Oh man. Okay. Okay. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Um, yeah, I'll be right back. I'm good. I'm good. What am I? I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I had to go to the bathroom as soon as I went on. All right, I'm back. Ho- Hopefully, my stomach relaxes. All right, guys. Okay, so let you know, back in August, back in August, no audio. Are you sure? Oh, there is. No, no. There's audio. No, there's audio. What are you talking about? There's audio. You guys can hear me, right? All right. So let me get back to this. You can. Let me get back to what I was gonna say. Back in August of last year, I did a stream on this. Thank you, Degrassi. What is up? What is Red just joking? Back in August, I did a stream on a very similar topic called "What Batman Should Be in the Batman Part 2." So, yeah, you're wondering why I'll be doing this again. That's because this is an updated kind of stream, 6 August, 7 months later, and after the Penguin show. After the Penguin show. That's why. Dead air when you're pooping. Un- unless you want me to keep the mic on, unmuted, while pooping, you hear my poop. And I'm gonna vibe blind it on. Okay, so let you know this is since the Penguin show ended. Okay, since the Penguin show. Okay, that all right. That's an update from that. All right. Also, I had to trim some stuff out from my stream yesterday, but it's all good. I'll be quiet, Red. Be quiet, Red. I know you're trying. Where's discussion films? There. All right. Okay. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing this. I honestly wasn't sure if I did this before, and I went to check my videos and I searched. Yeah, I did this back in August, but this is more of an updated discussion on this because of the ending of the Penguin show. Now, I probably should have done the stream a couple months after the Penguin show, not 5 months later when the Penguin show ended. Okay. I was away. I was away. That's why my mic was muted. Okay. Blinded, you got an invite. So did everybody else. Finbar. I want Finbar in here. Where's Finbar? I want Finbar. Man, you at the Hoboken Gallery, Degrassi. You want everybody. You want everybody. You want everybody. In Batman Part 2. Save for Batman Part 3, buddy. Save some for Batman Part 3. I'll do a poop stream. Yeah. I'll do a poop stream for my bathroom one day. Okay? I need Finbar's Instagram account. Why do you? I don't know if Finbar has an Instagram account. Okay. I don't know if he has one. I guess. No, any would work. All right. Well, who's our thumbnail? Okay. Okay. Boss. Okay, who's on my thumbnail? Let's check who's on my thumbnail. The love of my life, my thumbnail. Yo, RJ. All right. I'm not exactly. There's a chance I may go to the bathroom again. Be. Nope. There's a chance I may go to the bathroom again. Okay. So I'm gonna try my best here. Okay. So that's why I'm a little distracted a bit. Stop with the John Cena stuff. Oh man. Oh man. All right. Who my thumbnail? I have Two-Face. I do think they're gonna introduce Two-Face at the. I think they are gonna set up Two-Face, Harvey Dent, because of what happens in Batman Part 2, the Penguin show, with Penguin and that corrupt councilman, and they're talking about and they're talking about how the mayor wants to bring all the corrupt officers, everybody who's involved in the corruption of Gotham City down, and they're going to need a DA that's no nonsense, that's not corrupt, that's not corruptible, that's not well, it's corruptible, but that's a DA for the that's not you can't buy off. That's right, and that's Harvey Dent. I think that's Harvey Dent. That's definitely Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent will be Two-Face. Will be that kind of person in the Penguin, and I think he really does fit in the Batman universe because of what the Batman universe is trying to establish. Okay, right? The Batman universe establishes a lot of corruption, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of politics, right? Politics is involved. And Two Face completely plays into that, or Harvey Dent completely plays into that realm. Okay? I completely can see that. Okay? I actually have a video that I made, I don't know, last year, June or July, about what they could do to Two-Face leaves first. It's actually it's about 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. Actually, it could be longer. It might be longer. Let me see. Okay, 12 minutes. 12 minutes. And it's an origin story and stuff. Something like that. How they could, what the basis story for Harvey Dent Two-Face. I made a video on that. When is the date? 1 year ago. 1 year ago, so I guess it was last year though. So I guess around this time then. I'm just gonna have a joke. Okay. I say Two-Face is very important in this, and he could work in this world, in this realm, Matt Reeves' world. Okay. We get the next one over at some of the thumbnail is Hush. Thomas Elliot. Okay. Thomas Elliot, Bruce Wayne's childhood friend. Okay. I hope you're feeling better, RJ. But yeah, Hush. Hush 2 is coming out this month. The comics. Hush 2. Batman Today's been delayed again. It's coming out. It's coming out in 50 years, 56K, 50 years, 2075. Oh, okay, okay. Hush, right? So Hush 2 in the comics is out this month, and I'll be right back again. I'm back. Sorry. Um, yeah, that I had to go back to the bathroom, and that wasn't. I didn't have to go. Yeah, I. It's not poop. Okay. Yeah, Gotham needs a new DA. I know I'm muted because I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom again, and I did not. I'm gonna admit, I did not go. I did not go pee or poop. I actually had to puke some shit out. I'm not sick. I just think something I ate or whatever. It's just my stomach. I don't have a fever or anything like that. Anything fever. I don't have a cough. I don't have chills. Stuffy nose. Just my something I ate. I didn't take a dump. I puked. I puked. Hopefully, my after that, hopefully my stomach feels better. Usually, most of the time after I puke, my stomach does feel better. I admit it. Okay, it's a good thing I got to the bath. It's a good thing I got to the toilet in time. Maybe I'm pregnant. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm back. Where was it? I was talking about Hush, right? Thomas Elliot, right? Right? Now Hush. I'm sorry. I apologize. I know I'm talking dirty here, but let's be honest. I always talk dirty on this site on my Ustream. All right, blinded. Thomas Elliot, aka Hush. Okay, Hush, right? Hush, right? Now, in the first Batman movie, uh, we got basically, I would say, I wouldn't even call them, well, they're really direct Easter eggs, obvious Easter eggs. Now, if you're a hardcore Batman fan, you would know right away the Batman. If you're not, you may not know, but they're like really more direct Easter eggs than typically what Easter eggs are shown as. Okay, because because we got Edward Elliot, who started the Gotham Gazette, right? Gotham Gazette got killed, right? Works for the Gotham Gazette, got killed, right? Murdered, right? Right? Supposedly by the Falcones. In the comics, it turns out the Elliot's ancestors started the Gotham Gazette. Thomas Elliot's ancestors in the comics started the Gotham Gazette. We also got the word hush, right? The word hush. And Hush obviously is a 20-year-old Batman villain because Bruce does need a friend more than ever. Because Hush is only 2 decades old now. The character itself is 2 decades old. Now. Okay. It makes me get in shape every time. Maybe I should get in shape, I do feel better now. A little better. Oh, right? So Hush could work. Now, how would Hush work in this world, in this universe? Okay? Very different. Because Hush in the comics hated, despised, loathed his parents, and hated Bruce Wayne for pretty much getting the life that he wanted after Bruce Wayne's parents died and were murdered, right? Okay. I don't know how it works. I mean, this he can't get revenge on whoever he. I don't know how it would work in this world. It'd be different. It would be different. And I do agree that Riddler is kind of like Hush a little bit in the movie. So I don't know how they would do Hush. I know Matt Reeves is a fan of Hush, and looks and he might want to incorporate Hush into Matt Reeves' universe, his Batman universe. You're gonna have to change a lot with Hush, a lot of things with Hush, and and but the thing is 56K. You need Joker with Batman. The thing is, a Batman world could not work without Joker. A Batman universe could not work without Joker. You need Joker in Batman. Anything Batman. You need a foil. It doesn't mean other characters can't work. I just don't know how to do Hush. Thomas Elliot. I'm sorry, I'm getting all the gas out. Thomas Elliot. Now I feel a little better. I mean, I think I'd rather save him up for the third movie. Have him be like the Arkham Doctor instead, because he in the Arkham games he's not he is a doctor, but not at the hospital. He's a doctor at Arkham. Maybe something similar like that. And I don't think Joker is moving on to part 3. I think I have a bit of a role in part 2. But in part 3, Hush, you could have him be like a Doctor Arkham, and secretly he's recruiting for his grand finale, his grand plan to get revenge on Bruce Wayne. Whatever that is, I don't know how they could get to that. I really don't know. I don't know how they could get to that. This Hush and Batman story. I don't know how they could do Bruce Wayne and Thomas Elliot's story in this, because in the Batman, when it was revealed that Edward Elliot was murdered, Batman did not have like a shocked reaction in the sense that Thomas's boy, Tommy's father. Hey, sorry, it's Tommy's father. He did not have like I know, and he doesn't. And his surprise faces in the Batman, when he's shocked or surprised, it's not overly shocked. It's not overly acted, right? That's not Batman. His shocked face is just like the eyes, mostly through the eyes. And he didn't have that he had that with the reveal of Edward Elliot's death, but he didn't have to reveal like Tommy's father. And so I don't know how it could work. You're at the store. What are you doing at the store? Jim's going through some shit. Well, he is going to be a very important character, right? All right, so who's next on the list? Who's my next on there? Oh, Scarecrow. Okay, Scarecrow. Now, it looks like some Easter eggs of the Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane. Okay? From the Penguin Show. The Sophia Falcone's doctor / lovers, right? Office. Seems like there's kind of a mask in those Scarecrow typical claws. It seems like that, right? Like insinuating that's Easter egg for Scarecrow, right? Scarecrow. Okay? Jonathan Crane. Right? Now, I thought that guy was gonna be Jonathan Crane. Okay? Or at least Hugo Strange. No, but he is the original character for the show. Right? Maybe an understudy for Make it more fantastical. I think you could do more. I think they need to do more with Scarecrow than Nolan did. Scarecrow was just basically a pansy, right? In the big scheme of things, right? Here with Scarecrow is we don't know. We don't know if that doctor is mentor with Jonathan Crane. We don't hear him mention Jonathan Crane in this. I guess we don't need to. How do they do Scarecrow in this world? It can work. It can work. I think it can work by this a university professor who studies fear and or something like that, or something else. Not exactly like Nolan did, where Scarecrow diagnosis is obviously paid by the League of Shadows, but he diagnoses uh, criminals, right? Obviously says they're all insane. Scarecrow could appear in Clayface, but that's DCU, right? That's DCU, right? And I'm curious how to see a Scarecrow. There's got to be more to Scarecrow just being obsessive fear, okay? In the Reeves verse, more than that. Why? Like, why? Oh, here's Blinded. I think. Yeah, here's Blinded. What's up, Blinded?
What's up?
I'm good. How am I doing? I mean, I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, another day where kind of wasted it, but I did finish one assignment. I got three more to finish, so but now I'll just play some Marvel Rivals.
Oh, I thought you're retired from that.
Oh hell no. This is crack cocaine. I can't retire.
Crack cocaine.
There's no way. There's no way. I have what 1,700 units all just from playing the game. Like I
You
never
said
spent a
like
dime since the battle pass.
how long ago was that?
January.
Oh, January.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a couple streams ago. You're like, maybe you said you're like, yeah, I may be getting bored of Marvel Rivals. You did
Yeah,
say
but
that.
then I just keep coming back to it. I can't stop.
Saw Tom Holland's non-alcohol beer.
Oh, in the store. Mm.
Well, beer is meant to have alcohol. Sorry.
Well, oh, you're on silver sideways. I don't even play competitive. I think next season I'll start playing it. But I just wanted to learn like three characters. I'm almost Lord with Venom. So, and then I'm hoping next season Ultron comes out because I might main Ultron as a support.
Oh, nice. Ultron.
Yeah, Ultron and Blade. That's who might come out next season, possibly.
Just imagine Batman in space.
Batman in space.
Oh, that'd
By
be
the way,
hilarious.
speaking of Batman, I read Batman Dark Patterns. This is pretty I'm surprised that not a lot of people are talking about it. This book is really good. It's on the fourth issue right now, but they started a new arc and it involves Scarface. And so the mysteries about so Batman destroyed Scarface, spoilers I guess, and he turned into a living building. So,
Scarface turned into a living building?
yep. Yeah, and he didn't have Albert Wesker. Like he was talking by himself, so it's like this entire mystery. The book
Is
is
this
really good, so I would
is
check
this
it out.
is this Elseworld or
I'm pretty sure it is Elseworld. It's not in the main continuity,
I mean,
but I could be wrong. Because I mean, it's sort of like a mini series, so I just assumed it was a out of continuity story.
it's just funny enough. Scarface turned into a building.
Yeah, because the building is like this like bizarre
Who
building. Oh crap!
who turns into a
I died.
building though? Like
No one knows. That's part of the mystery.
a satanic.
Like Batman destroyed his body and he still kept talking, right? And then the last panel is basically the building looking like Scarface, right? And it's this really creepy building, right? Apartment building where all these like the voices are like projected and echoed, but they're like coming from different locations. So Batman's like
Uh,
in the hallway and like people are talking to him, but they're on like different floors. So it was really creepy.
yeah, that's creepy. All right, so let's get back to this. Um, yeah, what was I going to say? So where was I? Okay. Uh, what did you hear so far?
I haven't heard anything. I just make coffee and then I
You just
logged
said
on.
balls. You just said balls.
Yeah, I said balls and then that was it.
Good.
Which, by the way, I did see Novocaine. It was okay. I won't say I was disappointed with it, but it's not like this like fantastic movie. Like I think the reviews have it made it out to be. Like I
Mhm.
think it's at an 80 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think it deserves an 80.
All right. Yeah. All right. So what did talk about? My first villain. My first villain was Two Face, and we talked about Two Face a lot,
Mm,
right? And any changes on your views on Two Face since the Penguin show, like
or what?
for the Batman Movies Universe Part Two?
No, I still think he might be in it.
Yeah.
I mean, they
I,
kind of set him up to be in it. Obviously he wasn't name dropped, but I mean, like most of the events and stuff, I feel like kind of allude to him.
and yeah, they don't have the new DA was killed by the DA, not the new DA, but the DA was killed by Riddler and Batman, right? I forget his name, Coulson or something like that.
Mhm.
Similar name to the Marvel character last name or something like that. And he basically talk about when Penguin and that councilman, right, were basically making deals with each other, right? And they basically said like a new mayor is gonna, it's gonna go after corruption. And you know how Two Face. Well, you know how Harvey Dent is. Harvey Dent is not the guy to be bought. You know,
Right.
he's like a straight man, straight on narrow, right? He's like the most white knight kind of character. I mean, that's what they call it in the Batman
Right,
Dark
right.
Knight, the White Knight, right? Like, right? He's
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely, yeah, he's not, like, yeah, I would like him to be more of a, I'm not gonna say anti-hero, but I would like to him to like play the lines a little bit. That's why I think it would be nice to have him in the Batman universe because he could be in opposition to the Penguin. Like he could be the complete opposite, right?
yeah.
Because the Penguin is sort of all about, yeah, he's very corrupt and he's just going to continue to be corrupt. While I feel like Harvey Dent is trying to, take down people like the Penguin, right? So
Hmm.
I think that could be interesting. I know there's, it's kind of interesting too because they recently had a Two-Face solo series. I think it just recently ended. But I heard it got some pretty good reviews, and so I was gonna try to check it out. Um, 'Cause, yeah, I do feel like Two-Face is a character where it's like, yeah, you could play him in different directions, right?
Yeah.
Like look at him in Hush, right? Where
Yeah.
he kind of flips at the ending
Yeah.
to save everybody. Or not
Yeah.
save everybody, but to
Say
save
Batman.
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah. To say Batman. Um, yeah, like Two Face is like, yeah, Two Face can think he's doing good, but in a way is like not exactly what Batman like think. Right, Batman disagrees with. Like Two Face is. I mean, look, even in the beginning when he became Two Face, right? He was
Mhm.
going after corruption. He went after like the Falcons. He went
Right.
right in the Dark Knight. He went after He went after the what's it called, the Maroonies, whatever. Like
Mhm.
he does that. He goes. He still has that kind of morals a little bit, but
Yeah,
despite not always living up to it because he does immoral things too. But the coin makes the choices for him. That's the thing. Like
right.
right? Hey Iron.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he has that moral compass, but yet he still
Y-
lets the coin decide on whether
Yeah,
he's gonna kill them or let them go, right?
yeah.
So, yeah, he could be. I mean, uh, yeah, he could be a very interesting character in the Oh, damn,
But he
lost.
died. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be an interesting character. I mean, I guess I would also want him to be a recurring character like the Penguin. I don't want him to just kind of be like one and done, which I don't believe this universe is going to be one and done. I think they're going to want to keep characters around and try to make them as interesting as possible, right? Like the
Hmm.
Joker, and because I do think that's like the one thing I kind of hope comic book movies going forward stop doing is like killing off villains,
Hmm.
because it just is like, I don't know, you don't get a lot of time to set them up, and then you kill them off, and then it's like, oh, now we're on to a new villain. And I think that was also the problem with the Dark Knight trilogy too. I feel like they kind of, like, the Joker, obviously, if it wasn't for the death of Heath Ledger, he would have come back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know, I don't think Bane was a super interesting villain in that series. I like Bane, but I don't really think they used that version of or that interpretation of Bane wasn't really strong. Like,
No.
Bane is like obviously a physical threat, but he's more of an intellectual threat to Batman as
That's
well.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
um
I'm, they could do Bane. I don't know if they could do Bane here. It'd be different. Who
no, I don't
was
think Bane's gonna be in this one. In
no?
this
Who was next? Yeah, Hush. Hush.
mhm,
Now, Hush has been teased, right? Because we've seen the stuff teasing Hush. A lot of Easter eggs teasing Hush, and they're outright Easter eggs. They make it visible, very visible. So this Easter
right.
eggs is not like outright visible, but the Easter eggs for Hush is visible. And while Easter eggs don't necessarily play a part in the story,
Mhm,
the Hush ones did,
right.
right? Um, with
I'm
the
not
Edred.
like super convinced that they'll use Hush, because I still feel like, I mean,
I
like,
don't know how to use
a
Hush.
lot
I
of
don't know how.
yeah, I don't know how they could use Hush too, because I feel like the biggest problem with Hush is that, yeah, he's supposed to be like this, like, I'm gonna test Batman and really push him to his limits, and
Yeah.
I feel like when you don't have a lot of villains set up, it kind of like defeats the purpose of Hush. And the whole thing of like the mystery of him too, I don't think was very well put together, because it was pretty obvious that it was Hush.
Well, like those
Um,
flashback scenes in Batman Hush just makes it
yeah.
obvious.
So I feel like they would have to really reinvent the character for it to work in the
Yeah.
Matt Reeves universe. I still
Yeah.
think if they are gonna do Hush, like, you could do it like in a third movie. I don't know how far they're gonna keep going, right,
Yeah.
with this series, but I feel like, yeah, you kind of like, I would prefer the Heart of Hush, right? Because that's more focused on Catwoman and Batman than it is Hush. You,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, and also too, I feel like the whole idea of like because this is the thing, right? Like, Hush had this like master plan, and he got the Riddler to orchestrate it, and
Yeah.
all
When
these
Batman
different
Hush,
things
yeah.
yeah, like,
You
he played
got
on all the elements of Batman, and
got the
it's like, for a
Joker
second
too.
movie,
Like
yeah, for a second movie, I just personally think, like, isn't that like
yeah.
a little too much? Because it's like, we haven't really established this Batman that much. I mean, it's only his
You
second
they would
movie, so it's like,
they might have to take those of inspiration from the Arkham Hush because Arkham Hush did not orchestrate plan with a bunch of villains,
mhm.
right? That was just and they botched that. They completely botched the Arkham Hush too. They botched that greatly.
Yeah, yeah. The Arkham Hush was I don't know what they were thinking. I think it was
Well,
Rocksteady wasn't interested in the character, and Paul Dini liked the character more. I mean,
it was
Paul
supposed to be
Dini is the
Hush.
one who, in my opinion, made
It
Hush
was,
a more interesting character.
it
So
was supposed to be Hush and Scarecrow for the
yeah,
final game.
I think it should have just been Hush. I think it would have made more sense if Hush was the main villain
Uh huh.
and Jason Todd was involved in the story. Because one of the
Yeah.
biggest, and I don't really believe this theory because it doesn't necessarily make sense to me. Well, there's a theory that Hush was actually supposed to be Jason Todd, and that Jeff Loeb got upset at people like guessing that it was going to be Jason Todd, and so he
Yeah.
switched it last minute. And
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I don't know why a writer would get upset because someone guessed that, right? Because I mean, Tommy Elliott being Hush in the comic, it's just too obvious, right? It's like we're only now being introduced to this
Yeah.
character, and he's supposed to be this longtime friend of Batman, and you're like, yeah, but we've never even heard of this guy, right?
Hmm.
Um, and all of a sudden he just kind of comes back. So that's why I'm like, I mean, if they are gonna do Hush, I really don't expect it to be like the comic book. Like, I think it's gonna
No,
be completely different.
that's what I
Um,
think.
yeah, that's if they do Hush.
It's gonna be a different version. That's what I think of the Do Hush too. I don't, it's not gonna
Mhm.
be. It's gonna be inspired differently.
Right.
Um, 'Cause I don't understand. I really don't know how they can. They have to do something different.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
because if they continue on just doing the same thing,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to be received very well. And like I said, I feel like if you were to do what the comic did, you would probably want to establish a lot more characters to even do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I know Degrassi saying Hush to their well, we're getting the first part, right? The first part is coming out in the issues.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be like the final, because they're rebooting Batman in the comics. We're going to get a new number one with Matt Fraction this year. And then I think they're going to make the second part of Hush 2 into like a like trade paperback or like a graphic novel or whatever you want to call it. It's not going to come out issue to issue. I mean, I'll see. I mean, I'll read the first. I'm not gonna buy it physically because
No.
I'm already buying other comics physically. But I'll check it out and see. I'm just kind of like, I don't know how it's gonna go. I know Jason Todd is involved, so that might be interesting. But I don't know. I mean, for the Matt Reeves universe, do I do kind of hope in some ways that he's not just going to borrow from the comic books. I mean, if we are indeed getting a DCU Batman, I feel like you might want to make your own original stories and just play with the characters around.
Mhm.
Because we're clearly not going to be getting that with the DCU Batman. We're going to get more of a comic book accurate,
Yeah. It's
more inspired by the source material. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah. Like yeah.
go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin were different from the source material in this.
Yeah.
So Hush should be any
Well, I
different.
mean, to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they definitely were different, right? Like the Penguin was he was not from a wealthy family.
Oh.
Um, Catwoman, though, Catwoman, I feel like I mean, like, there's not really a lot of changes. Like, there's just more, I mean, yeah, she was race swapped. But again, that's not like
And
story thing.
and
Um,
yeah.
and the Riddler was obviously different too.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, I guess it would make sense that Hush would be different. There's no, I'm just saying, like, in comparison, he would have to be a lot different to those characters because as it is right now, Hush from the comics wouldn't work in the story, right? It's like there's not
No.
enough characters and villains set up,
And
and Batman would only be going on what, like maybe
and then
year five,
yeah.
right?
And in the comics, Hush's father's name is not Edward either. It's Roger, I believe.
I think they could keep that idea of
Yeah.
like him being friends with Bruce. But I think it would need to be like you would have to immediately know right off the bat that it's, Tommy, right? Like it can't just be it's a mystery. I I don't really think that works. They're
The
gonna
pro-
have to figure out another type of mystery that could work with the character
the
instead
problem
of it
is
just being like who's his identity, right?
the problem with the film industry. They make that kind of stuff too obvious.
Yeah, I mean that was my I like the Batman, right? But my biggest issue was that you kind of already know who the Riddler is. Like the
Yeah.
Riddler's not this, like it's not like, oh, it's a different person taking on the mantle of the Riddler. It's like no, it's not, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious what's going on. It's just sort of like, why is he doing this? That's more of the angle that they kind of took it. But I feel like a good mystery is like you kind of want to know like who did it, right? And who's the, because it's like it's clearly someone that we met before, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would kind of wish that they would do something like that. Um,
All right.
but well, I guess we'll have to see.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Continue talking.
Both parts are single monthly issues that take place in continuity during their respective publishing periods. Oh, I thought they were separated. That's why. Thought I read somewhere it was separated, but I because then I'm guessing the second part of Hush is not going to be in the main Batman because Matt Fraction is writing Batman. So it might be in Detective Comics then or a different. Maybe it will just be like Hush 2 with a subtitle or something, or Hush 3 or whatever they'll do. There's two types of mysteries film, the Who Done It and the How to Catch Them. Yeah. I mean, I prefer the Who Done It just because I mean it's more character driven. I think it works better with Batman stories. That's why I was like the new Batman Dark Pattern because that was sort of a Who Done It. Um, hold on a minute. Damn it. Okay, I'll just play this. Yeah, that was sort of a Who Done It. At least the first arc where you're trying to see why this kind of like monster character is like killing people in this like gruesome way. He was a cool villain. Like I would like to see that in a movie. I doubt we'll ever see that in a movie, but it was a very cool story. So, and this new story with Dark Patterns sounds like it's going to be interesting. Yeah, so I mean, I more prefer the darker Batman mystery stories. There's not really a lot of them. I mean, even like right now, like Batman, Absolute Batman, not really a mystery story. It's just sort of like action oriented Batman, which is fine. I mean, the mystery part of it is really the Joker. Like, who's this version of the Joker, and who's these version of these characters that we all know, right? So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, for a 6 issue break. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not because I'm playing. But yeah, I guess I'll check it out and I'll give my thoughts on here when I read it. I've been trying to collect more and try to go to the comic store more because I mean, sadly, I think the comic books might be impacted by the tariffs. So I'm like, oh shit. So been reading mostly digitally, and so I just wanted to keep up with physical copies now. Um, but yeah, what else is going on here? Jim Lee. Just trying to go back. My only issues with Reeves is that it really isn't that much different from Nolan. I think it's better than Nolan. I feel like Nolan was like too stripped down. Like it was really just too, I don't know, it was a militarized Batman and he's like, I gotta go get the target and beat them up. Like, I don't know. It just kind of was like I really like the detective aspect of Batman. That should always really be in place. And I never really got that impression from the Nolan trilogy. He didn't really feel like a detective. Um, just kind of felt like a militarized superhero in that Nolan style. And I mean the Nolan version is more popular, right? People, I mean, when you think of Batman, people are gonna like people casuals, right? Will only think of the Nolan movies.
Oh, sorry. All right, where are we?
No, I was just talking about I was going back and reading some of the comments. So Degrassi was talking about um the Nolan movies being kind of similar to Reeves's movies. It was an
Uh,
older comment. Just looking through Batman. I don't think the Joker is the main villain until part three.
oh,
I
that's
think I
awesome.
I think yeah, I think that's probably going to be the case, but I do think he's going to be in part two for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
think we should get in my opinion. Oh my God, I got stunned. In my opinion, I really don't want to see Joker as a main villain for a long time. Yeah, Nolan was like James Bond's Batman. Yeah, for sure.
Joe, Batman Part 3 will take place in 2000, like in 32, 5 years after Part 2. Part 3.
Mm,
Can you imagine? It takes all three movies 10 years, a decade apart.
yeah, it's
No. Oh, man. Well, next is Scarecrow. That's what I had. I don't have a list. I just have my thumbnail. But what do you think of
right.
Scarecrow?
Scarecrow could be an interesting character. I think maybe I would want to see Scarecrow as another, if they do more villain shows, I wouldn't mind seeing Scarecrow. Because I think he's a character who isn't like we talked about this before. I don't think Scarecrow's like explored all that well in the comics.
No.
Like he doesn't really have like a famous storyline in comparison to like Two-Face or the Joker, right? Like he's just the character that is, I mean, he's a reoccurring character. Obviously, he's a reoccurring villain because he's such a like the idea of using fear is really interesting, right? And because
Yeah.
it's the same thing that Batman's doing.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, but the difference is that, I mean, and he's using his fear to kind of also study his prey, right? And
Basically,
try
his
to like
parody. Yeah.
yeah, like and toy around with them and try to study them. And I think that could be really interesting. Like I don't know how you would do that in the Matt Reeves universe. Like I don't want him to be like a serial killer killing people. But I'd rather it be like he's kind of like studying different villains that are in Arkham Asylum and kind of taking advantage of them, or
Hmm.
even kind of like studying Batman. And like I think all these characters don't necessarily need to be like physical threats to Batman. I think there needs
Yeah.
to be some variety of like, at least in the Matt Reeves universe, like the Penguin being this like political threat, right? And someone who's gonna now almost have a Gotham under his thumb, right? And
Uh
try to
huh.
like build up to be the mayor. That's what I assume they're gonna do. And like I want them to have like a variety of characters who are all playing a different game. And like Batman has to see, okay, how am I supposed to now take them on, right? It's not just a physical threat, but it's also,
His uses
it's
his
kind of like playing
intelligence.
chess.
Yeah. His uses
Yeah.
as his intelligence, his strategy. Yeah. Like Batman's like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He's
And I would also like the villains too to kind of team up and be like, oh damn, like, if we're gonna take down Batman, right, they kind of have to have
yeah.
these different meetings
Scare,
and things like that. Like I would want to see that in the Matt Reeves universe. I don't know if we'll get that.
Scarecrow. Scarecrow's not. It's going to be the type of villain that's not going to fight Batman. He's going to be like the leader, where the leader doesn't exactly fight Captain America, right?
Mhm.
Like that kind of villain, right? He's not exactly fight
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah. Someone who's like in the background in the
Yeah,
shadows and stuff.
yeah, that kind of villain. Because he can't physically fight Batman. Um,
Right.
we already have a psychotropic drug trade used by Gotham. Batman has no source of drug pushing villains. That's true.
Yeah.
Then we got the Court of Owls in the thumbnail.
Yeah. The
That's
Court of
just
Owls too the one that I wanted to see.
yeah. How would you like to see the Court of Owls in this?
I mean, I because I've said it before, right? Where it's like I want um if you're gonna explore like why Gotham is the way it is. Like, why is it so corrupt?
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of like interesting where it's like, okay, yeah, there's obviously a shady elites who are behind the scenes pretty much controlling everything.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't think it's going to be like the Scott Snyder Court of Owls, because I mean that one gets more fantastical, right? Especially with the maze and Batman tripping out. I think you could do something like that, but it would be more like Batman's held in what do you call it?
Oh,
Confinement, and they maybe like are drugging him, and he's sort of like
what's
losing
it
his
called? The
mind and
labyrinth.
stuff.
Heard
Yeah,
of
the
the labyrinth?
labyrinth, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was there for days and he was like losing his mind and shit, right? So I think I would like to see the Core Owls done in a way where they exist, but they're not like the main threat. They're sort of um like Batman's investigating and he's kind of like seeing, okay, these people are kind of contributing to a lot of the mess that is Gotham, right? And they're
Yeah.
just kind of turning their backs because it benefits them, right? And
Yeah.
that's why I thought Matt Reeves
Gotham
was gonna
elites.
do, like, I thought he was hinting at the Court of Owls, because if you look at his concept art and like the stuff that he's talked about, because I have the Batman art book, and it's really interesting because you kind of it's like a very different kind of Gotham, right? Like Gotham is usually like there's two kind of versions of Gotham at least, and it's like this kind of like high tech Gotham,
Yeah.
that is like just kind of like dystopian, or like, like obviously it's like full of um poor people, but yet it's supposed to be like this high tech society, right? But then it's also kind of like a more traditional like city that is
Yeah.
it's like completely run down, crime ridden, right? Like
Yeah.
Chicago or New York, right?
Yeah.
But his version is like an amalgamation of the two, where it's supposed to be like Gotham was run down, but they were trying to build it back up and they're trying to improve on it, but for whatever reason it never worked out. And as a result, you kind of have this like weird stance, or like weird architecture where it's like old looking, but yet there's also new stuff there that's not completely finished.
Mhm.
And you see that a lot in the concept art. I don't think it comes across super well in the movie, but in the concept art, you definitely get the vibe of like, oh yeah, this was supposed to be a town or a city that was trying to be more futuristic. Like they had a vision and it didn't work out for whatever reason. And so that aspect I kind of want them to play up more. Like why exactly did Gotham, or all these wealthy elites, like why did they stop investing into Gotham, right? Like what changed their minds, right? And it's obviously would be because, hey, they realized that that wouldn't necessarily make money for them, right? And so they
Oh.
had to switch it to a path of crime and just letting the city become rampant and fucking
Yeah.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
um I mean, even when you look at like the Long Halloween, like like in the Long Halloween, it's set up where it's like there's this traditional old crime, like these mobsters and gangs, and that's going away with the new Batman villains coming in, like which are the freaks, right? These
Mhm.
people who are just like mentally disturbed, and they're super villains in the sense that their approach is not like a traditional mobster, but yet they still kind of run like mobsters. They have their own gangs, right? So I kind of hope he plays that up too, because that would be interesting. Like everybody has their own, because we haven't really, um, like we've seen in the movies, like the Joker has like different gangsters that work under him, right? Whether it's
Yeah.
in the Nolan movies or in a Tim Burton movie, but like we haven't really seen them kind of like take over parts of Gotham and like carve
No.
out the city and have different sections of it for different villains, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of were getting like in the Penguin a little bit of that, right? Of like how he was
Gang
negotiating
territory.
with,
Yeah.
yeah, the different gangs and stuff. And so like I like that aspect. I think that aspect could be really interesting. Um, but I don't know if you would want to do that in a Batman movie. I feel like you would need to do other series to set that up.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like establish these characters. That's why I do hope they make other spin-off shows. And it's not just like the Penguin and that's it. Because there's a lot of potential with playing with the villains and setting them up to be actual threats against Batman, right?
Yeah.
Um, well, who am I gonna pick here?
You know what? I'm gonna have to cut this short. My
Mm,
stomach is not really playing well with me today.
damn.
That's why I took a couple breaks. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, blinded.
Oh, it's
Um,
okay.
I hope I'm not catching something. I don't think I am, but who knows?
Um,
Um, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment below.